I'm just teasing you. I'm teasing you.
All good to go?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, your University of British Columbia Wanderers. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand and join Marie Lee as she leads us in the second half of the Star Spangled Banner, and then in praise of our own country, let's join Marie with "O Canada."
Oh, say, can you see by dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets around the singing, giving proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sing us that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome to the War Memorial Gym. We're doing 2 national anthems today, Howard.
Our homeland, native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command. With glowing heart we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on thee. Guide, keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the War Memorial Gym on the campus of the University of British Columbia. I'm Richard Zussman, joined alongside Vancouver Province writer Howard Samura. We're going to get you through the next few hours here as we have UBC Thunderbirds men's basketball preseason action against Eastern Washington Eagles. And Howard, we've seen NCAA teams come here before. Not the strongest team we've seen at UBC, but an interesting test. What do you like about these
Well,
NCAA
I agree with you
matchups?
right off the top, and great to be with you, Richard. It is interesting. That is the number one thing. There's only 2 Thunderbird players here on this active roster from just a couple of seasons ago. So with Plum and Nixon here, and as veteran guys and tested in this group, so the chemistry is what we're going to see unfold here tonight.
And
How
we're gonna
will
see
these
a-
guys work together?
And we're going to see a bunch of new names too. Jared Casey, O'Brien, Wallace, Brielle Kamen all in the starting lineup. We're on the floor here. Eastern Washington starting for them. Jalen Henry at center, Colin Chiverton, Thomas Reuter, Justin Crosgile, and Danny Powell. Taking the jump will be Jalen Henry against Jared Casey. And Coach Hansen, I know, is expecting a lot from these transfers who are stepping in right
Well,
away to start.
especially Casey, the big guy, is the true center, and we're going to have a bit of a delay here on the opening tip, which gives us a chance to talk about a player. I think a lot of people are very interested in Jared Casey, the former Maple Ridge grad who went stateside out of high school as a green as grass kind of big man. He really is a mature guy now all these years later, and what a find for Kevin Hansen to bring, a big back to the basket, stationary kind of a center who can be a defensive presence. It's not something the Birds have had in all their success to have the big body underneath.
It's amazing to think back to the national championship against Saskatchewan just 3 years ago. None of the players are left from that team, but there is one last name that's familiar. Jordan Jensen White will step into the lineup, Josh White's little brother, and he's part of 3 first years who Kevin Hansen's hoping will contribute right away. I know you know a lot about those 3 guys, so talk a little bit first about Connor Morgan, who I think Kevin Hansen thinks is the real star of this class.
Well, Connor Morgan is an international Euro-style big man who can shoot the basket he can shoot the ball with range, and that's what they like about him. A great experience for him. Richard got a spot on the Canadian junior national team this summer. Didn't play a ton of minutes, but that environment, I think, really key for him to know what it's about at the high level of competition. Jordan Jensen White, of course, the younger brother of Josh White. Kevin Hansen told me just a week or so ago, at this stage of his development is actually ahead of his older brother. We don't know how that's going to translate down the road, but that is an exciting prospect to think that you could have, former CIS MVP type player just coming into this lineup as a freshman. So a lot of new guys here. How are they all going to mesh together?
Just looking at old articles, I know interviews you've done with Jordan and ones that have been done for GoThunderbirds.ca, he likes to try to distance himself from his brother. He keeps saying the reason he came to UBC is because of the academics, the program fits. But when you have that same last name as a guy who was the top male athlete here at UBC, won male basketball player of the year, was one of the all-time greats during this great run that Kevin Hansen's had, it's hard not to draw those comparisons.
Yeah, it really isn't. And, that's the same thing that happens to any great younger brother who follows a star into a program. We're going to see how he becomes his own player, what his qualities are going to be, and he's not going to be exactly the same kind of player. That's why tonight is fun. We get to kick off a brand new chapter here in Thunderbird basketball.
This Eastern Washington team we don't know a lot about. 15-17 last year, 8-8 in their conference. They played in the Big Sky Conference down south. Seem to have some big guys. Can you provide any insight into what this Eastern
Well, the Big
Washington
Sky
team's all about?
Conference is a great conference, and Eastern produced an NBA first-round draft pick just a few seasons ago with the Detroit Pistons, so we know we're going to see good players here on the floor.
Rodney Stuckney's that guy, but we have a whole new group of Eagles on the floor. Justin Crawgile with it now for the Eagles. We're underway here at the War Memorial Gym. First game of the T-Birds open up the preseason. Thomas Reuter now driving to the hoop, gets good positioning, tough defense coming forward by Kamen. Nixon pops the ball loose, and the refs say it's last touched by the T-Birds. Eagles take over to 7 seconds left on the shot clock.
I like the excitement that Tommy Nixon shows to come out and challenge beyond the perimeter, Richard. He gets a tip out, and they're going to try and defend here in a short shot clock.
6 seconds on the clock. Crosgile has it. 4-3. He's going to drive left-handed. On the elbow, shoots, air ball, and that's going to expire the shot clock there. T-Birds will take over.
Well, that's the way you want to start a game. Make a statement defensively. We saw Nixon with the active hands and Plum coming out, challenging the shot. Really doing a great job of getting in the face of the Eastern Washington shooter.
Nixon to Plum. Both these guys experience with the T-Birds, the only two on the floor with experience. Plum gives it to Wallace. Over to Plum, left-hand side, beyond the three-point line. Dump off to Kamen. Kamen driving into the paint, double team. Kamen gets to the hoop, misses the layup, tip-in's good. It's Jared Casey, the big man.
You love the way he came in, though, with that big step, showing his ability in the open floor, which is just really impressive. A big man with that big step to the basket. And if that's what Casey's going to do, get those garbage baskets inside, he's going to earn his keep here.
Crosgile inside, shots blocked, then the foul. It's going to be Jalen Henry with the travel, it looks like, on that one, and it's going to be T-Birds ball.
Yeah, UBC's going to get the call there, and great active hands. They're not relenting on any kind of series down the floor here, really playing great defense early in this game.
Pushing it quick is Plum to Nixon on the left-hand side. Drops the ball off to Wallace, shoots the three, and it's good! 3-ball O'Brien Wallace, welcome to UBC. Score 5-0.
That's sure. O'Brien Wallace, a transfer from Brandon, who was in the program last year as a redshirt, really is a guy who can shoot the basketball. You saw it there, the big three-point basket.
Justin Crosgile, fade away, front iron. Rebound bouncing around, EWU has it, corralled inside, it's Powell up, miss. And a rebound corralled by the Birds, it's Kamen. Kamen pushing it up, dump pass to Plum. Plum has numbers looking for Casey, and it's a little bit tipped. And out of bounds, it's going to be UBC ball.
Well, it's all going to start with what you can do on the defensive end of the glass, and you saw that there. The defensive rebound ignites UBC's break, but I love the way that Casey reestablishes that defensive position, gets square quickly. He's able to get that rebound and get his team back down the floor.
O'Brien Wallace, the leading scorer for Brandon 2 seasons ago before transferring to UBC. Plum now, top of the key. Outside to Kamen. Kamen looking inside for Casey, passes off it. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Double team coming on Kamen. Finds Nixon open on the right side shot. Little long, bouncing around. Rebound by EWU. Crosgile with it. He keeps it at the point guard position. Chiverton now drives, second leading scorer on the team last year, and it's going to be a charge.
Yeah, I love the way Brill came and puts his body on the line there, Rich. He is willing to play defense here, really forcing Eastern Washington to play fast, quick, and out of control.
Burl Kamen's been on the roster of a bunch of American teams, most recently San Jose State, 6'7" out of Paris. Good charge there. Doug Plum now with it. Nixon sets the screen. Back to Nixon on the pick and roll. Nixon working one-on-one. Double comes Casey open down low. Great pass. Good finish by Casey. 7-0 Birds.
Yeah, you talk about chemistry, and you see some chemistry there with new teammates. Tommy Nixon great in the open floor, and really Casey going to the right spot on the floor to be the receiver of that pass.
Thomas Reuter outside. Nixon jumps on defense there. Powell inside. The ball's loose, and it's last touched by the Eagles. Birds looking very strong here on the defensive end.
You love their length defensively. When you add Kamen inside with Jared Casey, all of a sudden you can pretty imposing group there inside. Eastern getting a little flustered by that size inside.
Long Canadian trip for the Eagles. First stop was last night in Kamloops against Thompson Rivers, an 87-70 win. Seeing a much different team today in the Birds. Foul there on the Eagles.
No, I think, you're right.
It's going to be a block on Martin Seaverth.
Well, aggressive on both ends of the floor for the Thunderbirds. Doug Plum attacking with the basketball.
O'Brien Wallace to Plum. Kamen now. Wallace backing him down. Screen set by Casey. Wallace still has it. Into the paint. 3 seconds on the clock. Up. Rims out, and a strong rebound by the Eagles. Danny Powell with it. Justin Crosgile. Nixon on him. Crosgile drives left-handed to the hoop, right-handed. Scoop, and it's good. First basket for the Eagles.
Hey, Division I speed, stop and start. The stutter step gets him clear of his man. He goes right to the cup for the lay-in.
7-0 run snapped. Inside to Casey. Knocked around, corralled. Seaverth gets it. It's tied up. And they're going to say it's T-Birds ball based on the possession arrow.
This is exciting, Richard. So many different combinations, and you're getting to see a brand new UBC team here.
Checking into the game is Parker Kelly. And it is amazing how different this T-Birds team looks than last year. More athletic, larger. Last year, a real struggle for
No,
Coach
they are
Hansen.
matching up on the floor with the Division I team from the Big Sky Conference. You look at that, you'd even say UBC in a lot of areas on the floor has the advantage in the matchups on the floor.
They have real NCAA size. UBC does now. A big man who stands nearly 7 feet. Nixon now, pump fake at three-pointer, drives to the hoop, goes left-handed, it's up and it's good. 9-2 Birds.
That's Tommy Nixon's strength allows him to play through the contact and get to the rim.
Up, rebound, Plum now pushes off the miss. It's a 3-on-2. Dish off to Wallace, it's up and it's just a little strong, bouncing around. Great rebound by Kamen, he goes up and it's a scoop in, good.
Brill Kamen's rebound there is a special rebound, which that shows you his ability to go outside of his range, get a ball, keep his head in the game, and get square to the basket for the putback.
Crosgile with it now. Jim Hayford, second season on the bench. Shot good, a long three-pointer. Justin Crosgile cuts the lead to 11-5.
Well, Crosgile's a guy they have to watch. There he is, active hands to ignite the break the other way.
Pass it's up, and it's a hard foul. Nixon hitting Chiverton. Chiverton a real scorer for this team. Leading returning scorer for the Eagles. Looked very aggressive getting to the hoop there. Big body. 6'6", but very broad shoulders.
We talked about the point guard, though. Crosgile, stutter step, move to the basket for the first shot, then he hits a three and then gets right back on D, almost at half court to get the steal, and that's why his teammate is at the free throw line.
First one's up, no good. Decent crowd here at the War Memorial Gym as students starting to come back. This week is Frosh Week. We have probably a few hundred, 200 people or so in the gym for an early season affair.
Hey, September hoops, nice to see the crowd.
Still 2 months until the season gets underway. Chiverton hits his second. 11-6 the score. Plum working it up for the Birds. 5:51 left in this first quarter. Plum calling for the screen from Casey. Drives left along the baseline. Kick out. Shot up. And it's good. Another three ball from O'Brien Wallace. That's a pair from the transfer from Brandon.
Well, they're going to have to keep an eye on him and really start playing out to him. He's wide open in the corners now for 2 3-pointers in the early going here.
3-point up for Chiverton. It's good. Long distance range from 2 Eagle shooters already.
Well, unconscious there to shoot it against a bigger man, too.
And a foul. Good aggressive defensive play. Stepping up is Thomas Reuter, drawing the charge on that one, and a good play stepping up there in the backcourt.
Yeah, those are the kind of plays that ignite your teammates. in the early going here, trying to make up a 5-point deficit here early are the Eagles, and that's the kind of play that gets everybody willing to work hard on the floor. You sacrifice yourself, you get the ball back, and you want to score in the half-court situation.
Wallace leading all scorers with 6. Crosgyle with 5 for the Eagles. Driving there is Reuter. Stops and pops it off the glass. It's good.
It's basketball karma. You get that, you make the big play defensively, and you get the ball offensively, you make it count here.
14-11 to score. Doug Plum working the ball up for the Birds. Inside to Nixon. Reuter right on him. Nixon spin move. Great move and a block. Didn't see him coming. It was Martin Sieverth with the block. Nixon, though, trying to get it back on the defensive side of the ball. Crosgyle. Reuter in the corner. That's Nixon's guy, and he buries it.
A couple of blown defensive assignments here in terms of letting the open 3 ball move around the court. Uncontested threes. Got to make the UBC defense think how they're aligning here next time down the floor defensively.
9 in a row for the Eagles, makes it 14 all. Nixon to Kelly. Kelly shoots from the elbow, missed, bouncing around. Wallace had the first chance of the rebound, couldn't grab it. Crosgyle now out to Sieverth, he's feeling it. Just short iron. Plum goes up and rips it away from his teammate Kamen. Bird still with it now. Plum's gonna drive all the way to the hoop, stops down the good defense.
How do you like this tempo?
This is exciting basketball early in the season, lots of fresh legs. And subbing in for the Birds, we're gonna get our first look at Isaiah Solomon from Vancouver College. Expected to be one of those 3 first years Kevin Hansen will be calling upon. Doug Plum out of the game.
And Jeff Pippis as well, who's really worked in the weight room, wants to be a leader on this team, a kid out of Arizona with some BC connections that we can talk about later, but really a solid player.
Jared Casey out of the game. Nixon driving left-handed out to Solomon. Solomon drives. Sieverth there. Nixon open for 3. It's good. Buries the wide open 3. May takes the lead, 17-14.
Solomon drives right into the heart of the defense, does not panic, Rich, and gets that ball to the open man. Nice poise from the freshman playing his first real minutes here with the Birds.
Justin Crosgyle over to Reuter. Swing pass, fresh faces on. It's Parker Kelly now. Refs don't like what they're seeing down low, and it's a penalty on the Eagles. It looks like they're going to tag Jordan Hickert with it from Bunbury, Australia.
Our chance here to see Solomon run the point.
Solomon now inside to Pippis. Pippis up, open, just a little strong and missed. Rebound brought down by Hickert. Crosgyle, crossover, step back into the corner to Reuter. Reuter looking around, finds Crosgyle. Solomon's on him, right in front of Coach Kevin Hansen and the UBC bench. Crosgyle drives, stops again, pops. Wow. It's good. Nice move by Crosgyle.
Yeah, that is a tough shot too. Isaiah Solomon didn't bite on the first move. He got a hand right in his face. Crosgyle still knocks down that fadeaway jumper.
No, Coach Hansen likes Solomon's defensive play, and that will get him minutes in his first year there. Sloppy with the basketball, trying the crossover, trickles out of bounds.
Offensively, we're talking Hansen really talking about how Solomon can get to the rim, and I think that is a great part of his game, that fearlessness from the offensive end. He showed it at Vancouver College in a lot of big situations.
And we'll see Solomon more and more over the year. It is so hard in this league for a first-year guy to break in and play lots of minutes early on.
Well, we see the contrast in styles to O'Brien Wallace, feigning out for the three-point shot. Solomon more attacking the basket.
Short iron on the 3 ball by Crosgyle. Came in losing control on the dribble. Still UBC ball. Came in now, drive. Zone defense by the Eagles, missed. Rebound there on by Parker Kelly, and here comes Kelly pushing the tempo. Pippis on him. Hickert down low. Defense late for UBC. Powell was open down low. Nixon rotated late, but the basket's good. First lead for the Eagles, 18-7. Crosgyle poking it there out of bounds.
Yeah, and Tommy Nixon really on an island there, having to defend a smaller, quicker guard on the baseline. That is a tough matchup for Tommy. He didn't want to take a foul in that situation.
Still pretty good though, Howard. 2:21 left, and you're seeing the Eagles, the NCAA team, lead for the first time. UBC playing very good basketball.
Well, it's going to be a test here to find energy with all the different combinations on the floor. Kevin Hansen had a great opening group of 5. He wants to see how the new guys that he's brought on the floor, and Pippis and Solomon, can keep that energy level going.
Nixon, right-hand side. Reuter switches over. Came in back to Nixon. Nixon fade away. Back iron. Rebound by the Eagles.
And Lewandowski, also the Pitt Meadows product, on the floor inside, trying to battle to get to the glass. Couldn't battle through the defense there.
Ball bouncing around, sloppy play. Hickert was the last toucher for the Eagles. UBC ball. Came in up to Nixon. He slips. Ball bouncing towards Pippis. Not before Chiverton steps in the way. Reuter running it now, leaves it for Winford. Kevin Winford 2 years ago, very good for this team, leading them in three-pointers. Last season, though, averaging less than 2 points a game. Reuter driving to the hoop, strong. Hickert up for the rebound, knocked out of his hands. Pippis with it now for the Birds. Nice move by Pippis. The fans at the War Memorial Gym like the back, behind the back crossover. Solomon over to Nixon. Solomon now with it, driving on Winford to the hoop, and he's going to go to the line. And now that's exactly what you were talking about, Solomon's ability to get to the net.
And you got to have the confidence and the belief in your game as well to get to the rim. Your first game as a freshman, running the point here in War Gym, can be a little bit imposing, but Isaiah Solomon, one of those guys, as we said, used to the big stage, the AAA championships in high school at Vancouver College, a great program, great coaching. He's been groomed to take over here, and I think down the road, Kevin Hansen is looking at this guy as being a very, very special guy running the point.
Solomon's first is good. And Coach Hansen has had a hard time keeping those first years in school in terms of keeping his recruits through the program, and I think he's optimistic. The second one is good about keeping these three guys together through the 5 years.
Thrilled with his recruiting class, and as we wait to see how Connor Morgan will make out with one of those other recruits we've talked about, they've all looked good early.
And we will get a chance to see everybody. Chiverton pumps, drives up. They're going to call that a travel on Colin Chiverton, the San Jose, California product.
And Birds here to inbound with David Wagner, the South Kamloops product, a guy who's been in the program now a couple of years and really, I think, counted on to use that size inside and try and be a disruptive physical force down low.
Nice thing about this preseason game, we will see everybody today and likely lots of them. Jeff Pippis now across to Nixon. Nixon drives, good screen and a good left-handed lay, and Lewandowski, a great screen as Nixon found his way to the hoop.
Oh, you know, those guys have been playing together in the summer leagues, and you saw the good chemistry there on the screening action to get to the basket.
Solomon slips, opening up a wide open three-pointer for Kevin Winford. Ties the game at 21, just 36 seconds left in this first quarter. Nixon down low, Wagner pumps. Backing down the defender, he goes up, short-armed. Powell with on defense, again he's up, and that's up and long. All sorts of sloppy play around the hoop by Wagner. A couple opportunities, can't finish. And EW is going to get it for the last shot here. They're going to rush it, long three, miss. Nixon now with it, UBC has a chance. 8 seconds, Solomon pushes. Wagner wishes them, Solomon gets to the hoop, dishes to Wagner. And a little strong as EW is going to heave it up one more time. Shitterton's up, and it's no good. 21 all at the end of the first quarter.
Well, you see Isaiah Solomon directing traffic down floor. David Wagner has got to run the floor hard there. Little hesitant there to let Solomon take the lead on that break opportunity. You want to get some type of a number situation if you can. But Solomon creative, and you see why everyone is so excited about his start here at UBC Ridge.
Wagner had a very hard time keeping up there, pushing the floor. It looked like he gave up by the time he hit the three-point line.
Yeah, and then there comes the pass on the baseline. You got to be ready. Solomon is really pushing the tempo early. Confidence for a rookie, and you love to see that.
As fast as that pace was, a little surprising to see only 21 points put up aside. What did you like about what the Birds did in that first quarter?
Well, I love the way Kevin Hansen, coming out of a modified short training group session with this group, really had a good feel for 5 guys that he wanted to get on the floor to start this game. I like the action and the energy that those guys showed. I think things slowed a bit. Some giving up some three-pointers. Crossguile and number 23 from Eastern, both guys that can knock down the shot. Got to have those guys covered. I thought overall, though, the spirit was there early in September to want to play team defense, and that is the main thing here as this group moves forward into the Canada West.
The Eagles will be playing 5 games in 6 nights. They played last night in Kamloops. You see any wear and tear on these guys' bodies?
No, I don't. And these guys are pumped with the opportunity. The international tour opportunity gives them extra practice sessions that their other, compatriots around the conference don't get. If you take one of these tours, you get the extra practice time, and you can only take them once every 3 or 4 years, so you want to make the most of it. That's why they've got a lot of games here stacked up back to back to back.
Very interesting how these schools have figured out loopholes. In the NCAAs, they always figure out loopholes. This was built to be trips abroad, and for Eastern Washington, only a few hours across the border into Canada, this is their trip abroad for a cultural experience. But they do get 10 extra days of practice, gives them a chance to get on the floor together, be in front of their head coach, play together in an organized setting, and then they have to go to class put away the shorts, get the books out, and then they won't be able to start practicing again until late October, early November for the real season.
Eastern Washington, though, a great sports school and a great conference from football and basketball, and they have some ties here to this region. They have come through here over the decades. It's not like they're complete strangers here. Eastern Washington, close enough in Cheney, Washington, but really, all about what it's like in Division I basketball.
Kevin Winford inbounding right in front of us here. Referee giving Winford a little bit of a lecture here, a little slow out of the huddle. Second quarter underway. War Memorial Gym Exhibition Basketball on CanadaWest.tv. Richard Zussman alongside Howard Samora from the Vancouver province. Justin Crosgyle. Wagner in his face. Bath now steps in front. Crosgyle liked it, buried another three-pointer.
Wow. Yeah, they're getting hot from the outside, and defensively the Birds are there. They know it's coming. They just can't stop it at this point.
Plum, our first look at Connor Morgan here. Morgan, big body out of Victoria. Parents in the building. Garrett Moon on him. Chatted with Morgan before the game. Foul on him. A little bit of butterflies, but a guy that is really growing into his body and seems like he's ready to step up on the next level.
And maybe not his forte, being guarded at the three-point line, being asked to put the ball on the floor and create by himself. He'll find situations on the floor. You will see that the true talent rise to the top with him.
Very big lineup Coach Hansen has on the floor right now. Crosgyle was open there under the hoop, didn't like it, dished it out to Moon. He drives, good, hoop in the harm. He'll go to the line to try to make it a three-point play. 26-21 the score for the Eagles.
And that is an explosive move on the baseline, really taking advantage of the fact that the rookie's on the floor. He's 25 feet from the basket, and you have to put the ball on the floor and try and beat him. He goes right by him with an explosive move.
Pippis is up, ball knocked around. Eagles with it. Reuter in the corner, pinned. Coming to help him is Winford. Pippis up on Winford. Pippis staying on track. In the corner now, Moon. He drives again. Same move again. This time collides into Wagner and the ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, and the matchup there not favoring Connor Morgan early in his university career twice. Now being left there in the baseline corner to have to try and deal with Garrett Moon, and he's not having the greatest time trying to defend him off the dribble.
Doug Plum, shortest player on the floor for the Birds, standing at 6'4". Brill Kamen, 6'7" on the floor. Connor Morgan at 6'8". Jared Casey now 6'11", and Jeff Pippis 6'6". A big lineup for the Birds. Moon up on Connor. Morgan dishing it off. Knocked away. Kamen having a chance for it. Ball's on the floor. Last touch by the Eagles. 10 seconds on the clock.
Well, the ball is winding up in Connor Morgan's hands, and it's going to be a little bit easier now that he's got two bigs on the floor with him to help, a little bit here. But boy, he's really playing far from the basket.
Pippis to Plum. Tight defense by Winford. Obviously something they worked on in the quarter time. Getting tight in the corners. Pippis for three. It's good. Buries it. Back of the iron, through the hoop, and it makes it 26-24 Eagles.
And that's what Pippis can give you. He is a lights-out shooter. You love the length he can give you on defense, but he is a great, great shooter.
Justin Crosgyle, Bath up on him. Checking out the screen here comes from Reuter. It's a switch, a little bit of miscommunication there. Crosgyle had the open shot, missed. Easy boards there by Jared Casey. Errant pass knocked out of bounds by the Eagles. UBC will have it. 21 seconds on the clock and 8:10 left in the quarter.
But you talk about things you want to work on. You want precision. You want that great, strong outlet pass. You don't get it that time by Casey because you want to get down the floor as quickly as possible.
Pippis will inbound. Bad pass to Bath there as he knocks it over and back. Sloppy play by the Birds. A little bit of miscommunication.
You just got to look at Coach Hansen. You know he's pivoting, turning, and bringing a sub into the game.
Early in the season, it's still old coach Kevin Hansen, Jeff Pippis onto the bench after that miscommunication. O'Brien Wallace into the ball game for the Birds.
So we get our first chance at Wallace in Solomon together, Rich, in the backcourt here for the Birds.
Crosgyle driving now is Dorsey, the freshman. Three ball, back iron, bouncing around. Solomon had a chance. Ends up in the hands of Tyler Harvey, the freshman, and he finishes it. So new faces out on the floor for the Eagles with the score 28-24.
Like Solomon's reaction there defensively to not give up on the play. They didn't make or prevent a basket, but Solomon's still thinking defense.
O'Brien Wallace forced to work way behind the three-point line. Came in driving, defender there, and it's going to be the foul on Kamen driving the charge. We've seen lots of charges so far today.
People are throwing themselves willingly in playing physical defense, but that is Cayman's gift. He can put the ball on the floor with his length. He got a little bit overzealous there, but that is a gift he brings to this team.
And that's a way to earn jobs early in the season, showing that aggressiveness on defense, willing to take the charge. Dorsey driving, stops, pops, bouncing around. It's good. Biggest lead of the game for the Eagles, 30-24, 6-point lead. Solomon up over half court. Cross to Wallace, into the post to Casey. Casey has Morgan outside, quickly covered. Cayman now, backing down Reuter. Cayman up and good. Good post play by the big man Bryle Cayman at 6'7".
The double team contemplated coming. Cayman sensed it coming and made a quick, decisive turnaround move to the basket.
Bill Cayman on defense there on Crosgyle. Calls it a carry. UBC ball.
Well, you've got Casey, you've got Cayman, and you've got Connor Morgan playing more on the outside, but bigs who have an offensive flair here, and really interesting how these pieces, as we sit off the top, are all going to fit together. I like what I'm seeing on the floor for UBC.
Nixon leading the Birds in scoring with 7. Crosgyle with 10 for the Eagles. Cayman leaving off to Morgan. Morgan driving on Harvey, back to Cayman. And Cayman's foot just on the line there. That was tight there.
But there you saw Morgan, you know, with the ability to face the basket, put the ball on the floor when he's not guarded. If he can develop that skill, like Cayman, big guys that can drive the basket, just make you a more versatile team.
Solomon up on Crosgyle. Dorsey shoots from the elbow. Cayman under the hoop, grabs the rebound over the much larger Martin Sieverth. Great skip pass, Morgan throws it down! You always like to get that first dunk under your belt, and O'Brien Wallace, a great pass to find him.
He elevated up. What I loved about it most, Rich, Connor Morgan is calling for that ball. He wants the ball, and it's great to see in the freshman.
Three-pointers, good. And another three ball by the point guard, Justin Crosgyle. Connor Morgan, a little bit more confidence now after that dunk and some swagger. Solomon into the corner to Wallace. It's up and it's off the back iron. Jumping around for it is Casey and Morgan, and here come the Eagles. Crosgyle to Harvey, driving to the hoop. Kicks it out, wide open is Reuter. It's far iron, bad shot. Cayman grabs it. Wanted Solomon, passes up the opportunity. Here comes Cayman now. 5:35, frenetic pace. Cayman had a chance down the middle. Didn't think he had it. It was just Reuter there and pulls back. Solomon now, 10 on the shot clock, drives, ball pop.
Wow,
here
no call
comes
there.
Reuter. Cayman the only guy back. He goes up for the block and gets it. Ball goes out of bounds. Unbelievably well timed by Reuter, or by Cayman, just goading Reuter to go up for the shot, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, athletic, big step. When he puts it on the deck, he can get to the rim fast, but his defense has been impressive. His strength as well in the paint. Boxing out defenders, you don't think he's got that lower body strength. Doesn't have the, you know, the big lower body, but he's a strong, athletic guy. And I think of all the Birds we've seen this opening half, Cayman the most versatile and the most exciting thus far.
Yeah, he's looked very, very good. He can play on the defensive side of the ball, like you mentioned. He's been good on offense. What an incredible pass, though, earlier. O'Brien Wallace finding Connor Morgan. Skip pass through the paint to find Morgan, and for Morgan to get up like that, he didn't have a lot of room to move, and he got up quick and threw that
you're
down.
right, he didn't have a huge runway, and that's what you like. The kid has springs. I mean, he's known as a big guy. When he played at Mount Doug, he could go out to the three-point line and knock the shot down all day if you leave him open. But you love the fact that he's willing to mess it up physically inside, take the chance, want to get that dunk, show what he can do inside. Great signs early. I love what Kevin Hansen's put together here with this team.
He mentioned when I chatted with him before the game about the size of the bodies that he's going to see in the CIS, and you're seeing some big, big bodies. That's the biggest difference from high school to the CIS or the NCAA, is the size of the guys. You are now playing against men.
Yeah, but you've also got a great coaching staff here, nutritionists, people who are going to tell you what you need to do to get that body going to be able to compete in there. And the one thing that we've seen consistently, a freshman here who leaves 5 years later has a completely different physique. And if Connor Morgan follows that plan, he's going to get a lot stronger, a lot quicker.
Colin Chiverton inbounding to Thomas Reuter, leaves it for Chiverton. Came in on him, three-pointer off, way long. Nixon with the Birds, rebound. Solomon now had Wallace up there, back to Nixon. Nixon had Cayman. Birds just running around. 5:03 left, 33-28 to score. Nixon leaves it for Cayman. Cayman shot good, another long shot by Cayman, fading away for the long two.
You see the arc on that shot, Rich. That's a beautiful stroke from Brill Kamen, who can do it all. What can't this guy do?
7 points for Kamen now. Crosguile, the leading scorer in the ball game, dishes off to Chiverton. He gets the easy hoop. Haven't seen a lot of Chiverton, just 4 points for him. Leading scorer returning for this team, and now up to 6 now.
Well, those two guys guarding each other, and Kamen's got a lot of Chiverton in him as well. Very similar physiques.
Nice ball movement. Nixon to Casey, open in the corner. Wallace, inside to Casey. Unbelievable ball movement by the Birds. And Casey's going to go to the line and try to make it a 3-point play.
Yeah, if Thunderbird fans want to know who the point guard is, who is the lead guard on this team, well, there's O'Brien Wallace showing he's got an eye to dish the rock as well.
That was an amazing play. All 5 players on the floor touched it. They passed up open shots to get a better look down low and an opportunity for a 3-point play. A very good play.
Yeah, and I love the fact they're finding players, in their wheelhouse, so to speak. They're finding players where they're strongest on the floor, and that's finding Trevor Casey in his office, right in the low paint.
Casey up and good, 35-34 to score, 4:18 left. Crosguile leading all scorers, 13 points in this one. He's got the ball for the Eagles. Spin move at the top of the key. Blocked by Solomon. Ball bouncing loose. Casey now with it. Solomon pushes to Nixon. Left-hand side, Nixon in the corner to Kamen. And again, Kamen on that line twice in a row now. We've seen it on both sides of the floor.
Both sides of the floor, exactly.
Obviously, the basketball court's a little bit wider in Paris.
But hey, what about Isaiah Solomon coming from the weak side, never giving up on a play and just figuring the ball belongs to him? You got to have that mindset, Rich, if you want to steal the ball the way Solomon did there. It's impressive to see in the freshman.
I was living in Edmonton a few years ago, had an opportunity to do U of A Bears games, and this Connor Morton reminds me a lot of Jordan Baker. Big guy, and we've seen what Jordan Baker has become over the last 3 years. He's now probably the top player in Canada West.
Great player.
And this is the sort of body that he had when he started, skinny, tall, just like Connor
Well,
had
the
a
guy
dad
we're
who
looking at on the
coached.
floor, Tommy Nixon, when he came in as a freshman, did not have that ripple in his arms. He had a redshirt season. He emerged from the weight room a completely different guy. Now one of the strongest forwards in the conference.
And so we'll see sort of Morgan develop with what you said, this training staff they have here, the nutritionist. Travel on the Eagles, Thomas Reuter, Birds ball.
And UBC not going any kind of zones or anything, just content to play straight up man defense. I think good idea from head coach Kevin Hansen. You get a better idea of your athleticism and your ability to defend the ball, just staying in the straight man defense.
Solomon, corner, Wallace, three-pointer, in and out. Low arc on that shot, just didn't get it up, and it's going to be a foul on the Birds.
Yeah, and Jared Casey trying to swat that ball, getting a little too aggressive. I think this Thunderbird team is just excited to get on the floor and play and see how all that work in Summer League and all the things they've done have come together as a group, and they are pumped right now.
Just 3 fouls this quarter on the Birds, 35-33 the score, 1 foul on the Eagles. Crosguile handling the point guard responsibilities, 13 points for him so far this half. Hickert shot up, left-hand side, missed. Wallace has it, the transfer fouled on Seifert. Didn't like the way that fast break was looking. And O'Brien Wallace just teasing the fans a little bit after the whistle to show them how much hops
This
he's
has
got.
given Kevin Hansen so much food for thought. He's thinking, hey, when we go small, I can have Solomon and I can have O'Brien Wallace on the floor. And it helps Solomon, too. He's got a veteran on the floor with him. A perfect situation with these two guys who are so exciting.
Nobody on Solomon. He's in the near side corner. Inside to Casey, bouncing around. Nixon was there, but not close enough as the ball bounced out of bounds. 3:14 left, 35-33 the score. Eagles lead. The Big Sky Conference team opening up their season on a BC trip. Started last night in Thompson Rivers with a win. Looking for one tonight against the Birds, finding a much tougher task. Kelly pops, weak shot, bouncing off the left-hand side. Kamen fouled by Danny Powell.
I don't think we can say this too much. The big guys away from the basket have the ability to handle the basketball as a group better than any group I can think of in recent memory that Kevin Hansen has brought to this campus. Brill Kamen with the ball in the open floor is a weapon.
Nixon to Solomon over the T-Birds logo here at War Gym. 2:49 left. Solomon covered by Crosguile on the right-hand side. Travel on Solomon, and Crosguile rips the ball out of his hands.
Hey, anytime the rookie gets under the skin of one of the best players in another team, you know Isaiah Solomon's doing a good job. He's not going to back down from anybody here.
Crosgyle, new to the team this year, junior transfer, played at DePaul Catholic High School from Patterson, New Jersey. Three-pointers up, it's Hickert, it's good. 38-33, Eagles lead.
Well, saved by the three ball. They have made a mark shooting the long ball.
Kamen back behind the three-point line, little shimmy shake, stops the dribble, finds Wallace streaking to the hoop. He's fouled by Hickert, a great pass by Kamen, finding Wallace getting to the hoop.
Yeah, you draw that stuff up on the chalkboard, Rich. You want guys to execute to it. It means a real hard, sharp cut to the basket and no regard for your physical well-being inside. And that's what O'Brien Wallace does there. He makes that eye contact and boom, he's gone to the rim. That's why he's at the free throw line.
O'Brien Wallace has a pair of three-pointers in this one. 6 points, trying to add to it. Does. Knocks down the first one. So we've seen a lot of different players scoring. Kamen with 7. Nixon with 7. Now Wallace with 8. Casey with 6. Only the starters that hasn't gone to the scoring is Plum. He's still sitting there with a goose egg up on the board.
He's the one guy you know can let it up if he gets hot. Doug Plum is a red, lights-out hot player. I mean, he is one of the proven guys on this team.
Crosgyle at the point. Dishes it off to the right-hand side to Powell. Straight ahead three, front iron, bouncing around. Nixon, good crack at it, pulls it down. Wallace has a 3-on-1. Leaves it to Kamen, lays it in. The fans wanted the dunk. They got the finger roll, and it's 38-37.
There's something absolutely cool about the finger roll in transition. Kamen, a classic old-school player there.
Crosgyle keeps it. Solomon up on him. Kamen and Solomon. Close to the double team. Crosgyle's going to shoot, bouncing on. Great play by Tommy Nixon. Guys giving chase. Nixon didn't see him coming, and he flies out of bounds. It was Kevin Winford chasing Nixon down for about 15 meters,
Yeah, you
knocking the ball and himself out of bounds.
You wanted to yell, Tommy, yo, behind. He was coming hard.
But a great play by Tommy Nixon, flashing down from the top of the key to grab that rebound.
I love the energy level, and you're right. That's how you gauge the heart and soul of a team. Are they willing to hustle to recreate shot clock opportunities for themselves in the half court? And Nixon, a great job there. You're right, Rich.
And even though it's preseason, Howard, you got to remember your coach is still Kevin Hansen when you go back to the bench, and he's going to let you hear it if he doesn't like what he sees on the floor.
Yeah,
So
nothing eludes the eye of Kevin Hansen out there. He wants energy, and really, I mean, you should expect that. Every play on the floor leads to the next, and it's got to be all energy all the time. I think UBC has shown that in great stretches here, but you got to credit Eastern, the way they've come down, and they have knocked down big shots. I think what we got to watch here in the second half is Eastern going to keep relying on that three-point shot, because if they get cold, the energy level on the glass by UBC to trigger that transition, we've seen it to be very, very potent, and it's a way for UBC to get into this game and really wrest control of the outcome.
And the expectations are going to be so high this year on campus for this ball team. Last year, the first time since 04-05 not going to the Final 8. Coach Hansen expects to go to the national championships every single year.
Hey, there's been some turmoil in the conference, and we saw that great Fraser Valley team under Barnaby Craddock make their big rise at the CIS Final 8, winning a game in the opening round. But, of course, Craddock now in Alberta. Players have transferred. A lot of things have changed in this conference. This is the most unconventional, not knowing what's going to happen conference we've seen in Canada West in at least a decade.
New coach at Fraser Valley, new coach at Alberta. Those were the two top teams in Canada West last year. Ryan McKinnon gone out of Victoria. Here, a whole new team, so it's going to be lots of question marks. And as we get a first little look at the teams this week in these exhibition games, then we'll have to wait for a few more months. Winford for three, it's good. Winford, the leading three-point shooter on this team 2 years ago. 41-37 the score with 1:13 left. Solomon with it for the Birds, one of the fresh faces, Isaiah Solomon out of Vancouver College. Caven tried to set the screen there. Solomon dribbles to the right-hand side. It's Nixon on the right side, spins into the paint. Kick out to Casey, about 12 feet away, misses.
Well, Casey, if he could knock that shot down, can be a pretty versatile weapon.
Crosgyle pushing it. Three-point shot is open. Front iron by Kelly. Kamen with the rebound. Limbs flying everywhere as Kamen never had his footing on that board.
Well, Kamen pushed the row of chairs right back to the wall here in Ward Gym. That is hustle to the nth degree.
Training staff getting out of the way quickly there. Couple red shirts sitting on the bench as they got a good view of Brill Kamen coming into them.
Yeah, Brill Kamen, as we mentioned, San Jose State, the transfer was here last year on campus, getting ready for this season.
Oh, yeah. Using the same towel they just wiped the floor with. That shows some dedication.
This is my sweat anyway.
Thomas Reuter inbounding the ball. Kamen right up on him. 5-second count. Great defensive play by Kamen. And it's going to be UBC ball after the 5-second violation, trailing by 4 with 47 seconds left. Nixon will inbound. Kamen, Solomon, Nixon, Wallace, Casey on the floor. Solomon bringing it up for the Birds. Cross guile on him, leaves to Nixon. Back to Solomon, left-hand side, inside to Casey. Swatted away and out of bounds. 11 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, Casey looking to get the easy 2 inside there, but Seaforth is there with the rejection.
Yeah, Seaforth getting up quick there. Another fresh face for this team, not on the roster last year, and the Birds called timeout.
Now, we talked about Jordan Jensen-White off the top, but he's one of the guys that has not seen action here. Kev's played a pretty long bench here in the opening half, but haven't seen Jensen-White on the floor just as yet.
Doesn't look like he's in uniform. It looks like all the players in uniform have
played. You're correct.
Yeah, White's not even up on the board, so no Jordan Jensen-White today. We'll hopefully get some explanation at some point about what's going on with him. Must be nursing some sort of injury. I know he's a guy that Coach Hansen was hoping to take a look at when I spoke to him earlier this week for Thunderbird High. He mentioned he was going to get some looks. So there must be something hampering him as he's not in the lineup.
Well, we've got just a handful of seconds here, but we've seen certain players, right? I mean, there's a group of guys that are going to be great down low. There's an exciting guard group, but there's also the bridge players between the front court and the back court. And Brill Kamen, I think, is going to be the next in a long line of great Thunderbirds to be able to do it inside and out. We've seen the great hustle. Fundamentally, and a touch to score and a willingness to score too from this new guy in the Birds lineup, and he's been so exciting to watch.
And he's going to surprise some guys. We see this in the Canada West. Fresh faces that come in. Daniel Ferguson did it. Tron Glover did it. Jamil Barrett. They show up and they perform at a high level in their first year. And Kamen, I think, will be the next line of these guys who stepped up. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Casey doesn't have much time, and he loses control of it. Birds working with the short shot clock, unable to get the shot off there.
Well, we'd like to keep it at 4 points or cut it to 2 or whatever they can do here, but it's been a great first half here.
Shot clock
4-point
turned
lead.
off. 41-37 the score. Winford with it, driving. Screen coming. Casey backing up. Nixon stepping forward, down into the post. Dished out, ball knocked loose, trying to get it to Kelly. It's Winford with it. 3 seconds. 2. Winford drives, nothing there. And they're going to call the block on Casey. But it doesn't look like they're close to the bonus, and
That was a vicious.
he just stepped in Winford's
He just
way,
stepped
and
in.
it looks like he got a Charlie horse, got a knee likely into the right thigh.
Well, Brian Wallace came out the worst of it.
Wallace is crouching down there. He's going to stay on the floor.
Everybody but Casey, who just brushes it off.
0.7 to shoot. Wallace will step off the floor for Plum. And Winford stays on the floor limping badly. Doesn't make it, he's just going to hang out in the corner. Long jump ball, it bounces around, and
Well, that was a long 0.7 seconds.
it's preseason for the guys starting the clock too, Howard, as they had a hard time pressing that go button, but eventually it got going and the final whistle's gone. We're into halftime now, 41-37 the lead, and the Birds' new look lineup looks pretty sharp in that first half.
Great balance from the veterans and the new guys. We saw so many plays, Rich, in that opening half where you need trust and you need to be able to trust the guy on the floor with what you're doing. That character is already evident with this group. And this early in the year, to see some of the things we saw in that opening half play, I think is a great sign for good things this year for the Birds team.
So how much do you think these Birds have played together throughout the summer? Where would they have played and what would they have seen of
They're
each
going
other?
to set up their own open gyms. They're also going to be in the Douglas College League. They enter a team in there. It's a chance for them also to build some chemistry. And then the last couple of weeks that they've had, in the gym here, getting ready for this special game here. So they've had their opportunities. It's nothing like the reps you need, when the lights go on for a Canada West season. But I think it's already to the point where guys like Solomon and Morgan, pure freshman players, are fitting in with the Thunderbirds team. And in past editions, pure freshmen did not come in with the expectation that they would play any substantial minutes, to begin their Thunderbird careers. I think these two guys are going to see a lot of time early.
We also saw Kevin go with a really big lineup, and we also saw him go with a small lineup. Both very different and very good. What do you think we'll see more of once we move into the regular season, the early part of the schedule?
Well, you know what? I think if they can establish the big lineup, it's going to be huge for them because the big lineup is still athletic. I think they'll go by matchups. And we talked about the fact that O'Brien Wallace and Isaiah Solomon look good, as co-point guards in that backcourt. I don't know. I'd be very interested to see how Kevin Hansen would describe that partnership when they're on the floor, but they look good there too. Hey, it's all mix and match right now, and I think there's even more combinations they're going to try in the second half as Casey Archibald and the rest of that assistant staff talk over what they saw in this opening half of play.
All right, Howard and I are going to take a break. We'll be back in about 10 or 12 minutes or so. When we get back, we'll have second half action between Eastern Washington Eagles and the UBC Thunderbirds on Canada West TV. I'm Richard Zussman alongside Howard Moore. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the second half. Welcome back to the War Memorial Gym on the UBC's Point Grey campus. Richard Zussman alongside Howard Samora. Thanks for joining us on CanadaWest.tv for this UBC Thunderbirds men's basketball preseason action. And Howard, we've had a chance to take a look at the stats. Let the viewers know what we've seen in the first half in terms of numbers.
Well, I mean, you talked about it right off the top. As soon as that first half ended, is the balance with this UBC team, especially offensively. You look at what they've done. You've got Brill Kamen and O'Brien Wallace each with 8, and you've got Tommy Nixon, Jared Casey, 7 apiece. There's great balance there. And you know what? I don't know if this team needs to have a go-to guy, but they seem to have a lot of candidates based on one half of guys that on a given night can really step up and do it. And that's what impressed me about looking at the box score after the first half.
And O'Brien Wallace, 2 for 4 from three-point land. So if you need points in bunches, he may be the guy to count on this season. On Eastern Washington's side of things, the leading scorer, Justin Kronsgeil, talked a lot about him in the first half. 5 for 11 shooting, 3 for 6 from three-point land for 13 points, 5 rebounds for him. He led the Eagles in that category as well. The top rebounder for the Birds came in looking pretty good so far, 8 points, 7 rebounds, but those nasty 4 turnovers, something I'm sure Coach Hansen was talking about at halftime.
There is a certain wildness to his game, as some of the former Birds remarked here about Kamen, but they love the fact that he brings that enthusiasm, and it's always much better than it is, a detrimental situation to his team.
Birds will start it off here, third quarter underway. Graham Bath on the floor, calling the shots, trying to get Nixon to come to the top of the key. He does, leaves it for Kamen. He has a pass to the hoop, gets up, and he gets fouled. He'll go right to the lane. Nice pounce by Nixon. We have Bath, Nixon, Wallace, Kamen, and Casey on the floor for the Birds. On the floor for the Eagles, Reuter, Kronsgeil, Powell, Chiverton, and Kelly. Reuter on the floor instead of Powell. First one's missed by Kamen.
You mentioned Doug Plum, the one guy not really getting unleashed offensively. We'll see if he can be the one guy that kind of turns it on. We mentioned a veteran guy with his team, and he's out with that starting group right now.
So we found the weakness in Brill Keenan's game. 0 for 2 from the line there. Score still 41-37. Reuter leaves it for Crosgyle. Across to Chiverton, driving to the hoop. Right-hand scoop and missed. And it's last touch by Chiverton. It's going to be Bird's ball.
Yeah, Chiverton really just tried to redirect the path of that ball as it was headed towards the rim. Just kind of a push there by the rim. Couldn't get it to fall, and the Birds take over.
Nathan Yu at the game with some old T-Birds hanging out behind the net where the Birds are attacking.
Also, Mark Trazzolini, the Vancouver College grad, who is a Santa Clara star, is here at the game tonight.
Wallace, long, bouncing around, rebound by the Eagles. Seaverth with it, pushing. Reuter now has it, pulls up, leaves it to Chiverton. Great left-handed lay-in by Chiverton. Off balance, good. 43-37 the score. Ties the biggest lead of the game for the Eagles.
Oh, Chiverton is so dynamic there, going to the rim. He's got the length, and he's going to attack you every time, one-on-one.
Tommy Nixon for three long. That was a deep three and missed. Chiverton so far today, just 8 points for him, and I say just the leading scorer returning. He's a guy that could just explode in the second half.
Well, if you don't watch that three ball and just leave him on the floor, he's going to find the basket, as he does.
Crosgyle gets there
Crosgyle
this time. And Crosgyle up to 15 now as they extend the lead to 8. Eastern Washington making sure they've got it right as there's a little screw up on the board here. Score 45-37 it should read on the board. Wallace inside to Casey. He's got a clear path. He gets up. He'll go to the line and shoot.
Yeah, and you like what Casey does there. Has a feel for playing in the post, anticipates, wants the contact. So really on the jump stop underneath the basket, really extends that shoulder, wants to feel the contact as he goes up to the basket.
Pretty good crowd here. Lots of first-year students enjoying the ball game. Jim Hayford, second-year coach for the Eagles, led them to their most wins since the 2004 season when they went to the NCAA tournament. First shot, no good, missed. And he's got an interesting outfit on today. He's got some sort of flannel shirt in team colors and some loafers on. Very relaxed looking, but seems like a very intense man. Seconds up. Birds have missed all 4 of their free throw attempts.
Leaving some points on the floor here, trailing by 8, but you're right.
So 0 for 4 from the line to start this second half. Eagles pushing the 4. Crosgyle with it across the half mark. 8:07 left. Up 8. Crosgyle dribbling. Leave it to Reuter. Reuter picked off. Nixon breakaway. 3 guys with him, and Nixon lays it in.
We saw that right off the top with Tommy Nixon coming out. Way beyond the three-point line to defend. Tommy Nixon loves to do that, and he's got the strength in that upper body to play through so much of the contact.
I'm sure Brill Kamen was just calling for that ball to come off the backboard for him on the 3-0 breakaway after miscommunication by the Eagles. Crosgyle driving into the paint. Kicks out, drive is Kelly. Kelly misses, Nixon grabs the rebound. Outlet pass, Wallace is on a break. 2 guys back, Wallace will lay it in, it's good, and the foul. 3-point play opportunity coming up for O'Brien Wallace as the Birds on a mini run here with back-to-back easy layups.
Well, you got to credit Parker Kelly and Martin Seifert. They got down the floor in a hurry to contest that shot. Great feel around the rim by O'Brien Wallace to get that ball to fall. They were collapsing on him, and they ran hard to try and prevent that basket.
Brian Wallace with a chance here to cut the lead to 3. 45-41, 7:32 left in this third quarter. It's good, cuts that lead down.
Birds have given up some easy hoops too. Clear pass to the basket. Really got to get back to that defensive intensity they showed in the opening stages of this game.
Wallace and Kamen both in double figures now, both at 11. Crosgyle driving, Wagner on the floor. Kick pass, open swing, Chiverton open, misses it, rebound by Kamen. Bath defender comes up quickly, Bath is now driving. Has Wallace in the corner for 3. Rims out, Nixon, great rebound, and it's good. Tommy Nixon clearing the boards. And a 7-0 run for the Birds.
Wow, great play by Nixon, not giving up on the play. Really a good nose for the ball around the basket. Love that willingness to work hard for second chance opportunities here by the Birds.
The Eagles had extended the lead to 8, the largest of the game. Crosgyle trying to regain a bit of that lead, misses it, Bath with it. Had Wallace streaking, and he gets fouled by Chiverton as Graham Bath just misses Wallace streaking down the far side. And now the Birds having a chance to take their first lead since the middle of the second quarter.
Yeah, there is some great energy out there right now. So just to let you know, the Birds are not giving up. They were down by 8, but they have crawled back to 1 here.
Doug Plum with it. Cross half court over the T-Birds logo to Nixon. Nixon drives, nice move by Tommy Nixon. The reverse lay-in as he scored 6 of the 9 for the Birds during this 9-0 run.
Wow, some dexterity there in tight corners by Tommy Nixon. He can play the 4 spot for you, but he can drive the baseline too.
Crosgow open in the corner for 3, in and out.
Another rebound for Nixon.
It was Hickard with it. Here comes Bath driving, Hickard on him, and Bath gets fouled heading to the hoop. And they're gonna say he was in the process of shooting, so Graham Bath will have a chance here. Sorry, Doug Plum, I got them mixed up in my head, and I keep doing this.
Hey,
Doug Plum
you know
will
what?
have
When
a
a
chance.
guy like Bath comes in, he goes all 5 years from his freshman season, man. Game 1, I don't blame you one bit.
Doug Plum will go to the line and try to break that goose egg. 46-45, and what a run here. 9-0 for the Birds. Tommy Nixon 6 of those points, and he comes back as the team's second leading returning scorer behind Doug Plum, and a guy that Coach Hansen is hoping to count on this year.
It's energy, and that's what Tommy Nixon has brought. We saw it with the steal just on the other side of half court that he turned into a breakaway basket, and from that point on, Tommy Nixon has really guided the tempo of this entire comeback. As you say, the 9-0 run here to take the 1-point lead, and the Birds have momentum back in their favor.
Nixon's body has changed a huge amount. You mentioned it, skinny arms like Twigs early on. Now he's got some definition to him in his 3rd season. Last year led the team in scoring on 4 different occasions. He'll be counted on again this year to score some points, but he just looks like a much different person in terms of the confidence he has.
And hey, you know what? I watched that kid all through Kitsilano Secondary School and the great teams he played on there under Randy Coots, and he played inside a lot. But you know what? When he came to the university level, he wanted to be more than just an inside player. He wanted to be a multi-dimensional, versatile, strong guy that could help his team. And the best thing he did was take that redshirt season. Some guys it's right, some guys it's wrong. For Tommy Nixon, it was the best move he could have made. He emerged a completely different player.
And you can see him here talking to David Wagner and sort of telling him where to go and what to do once these free throws are done. And that leadership is new for him. First shot's up and it's good.
Well, he's invested, and that's what you need to get to the Final 8. Is a core leadership group that really cares about each other and wants everyone to do well. And you're saying, as you say, Rich, great example as they hit that second free throw of that leadership from Tommy Nixon on the floor.
So Plum getting on the board now, a pair of points for him. 48-45, 11-0 run for the Birds. Winford with it for the Eagles. Kicks off to Hickert. Hickert long, 3 long. Rebound by Wallace. Here come the Birds again. A 3-on-2. Wallace just behind Plum as it goes out of bounds. And it's last touched by Plum. Referee's trying to sort something out here.
Brian Wallace getting some extended minutes here, though, as the point guard, and he leads that break.
Double team, quick on the trap there. Hickard with it now. And they finally get it over the line. Crosguile, 17 on the shot clock, 5:45 left. Crosguile getting signs from the bench. Calling somebody to set a screen for him. 6 seconds, 5. Isolation move. Crosguile's going to pull up, shoot.
Wow.
With 3 seconds and it's good.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you can't get something happening and you can shoot the ball like that. You break the trap, you break everything, including UBC's defensive will, when you can just put up a 3 with 8 seconds left on the shot clock.
Winford on Plum. Plum across to Kamen. Wallace with it. Wallace drives on the crossover. Kick out to Kamen, and it's knocked away with 8 seconds on the shot clock.
A little too fancy. Didn't need the back pass. You're going right to the basket there if you're O'Brien Wallace.
Winford driving on Plum. Side to Hickert. Kamen on Hickert. Swing pass. Three-pointer is good in the far corner by Ivan Dorsey. Plum driving now all the way to the hoop, just missed. Wagner with it, missed again. Wagner soaring for the rebound, grabs it, and they're going to slow things down here.
It's what David Wagner did after the miss that was most impressive. Chasing down that loose ball, recycling the possession for UBC.
Nixon in the corner, thought about that shot, didn't like it. Spin move, good defense on him. Kick out far side, came and missed. Wallace open on the weak side, and it's in. He jumped once for the rebound, the ball bounced, and then he jumped again and tipped it in for the basket.
Smaller bodies going to the glass here have paid off, especially from that guard contingent of the Birds, and that really shows the intensity that you're bringing on the floor here for the Brian Wallace.
Justin Crosgow driving off the screen. Wallace on him. Pump fake. Driving to the hoop. Crosgow now. He'll shoot the three. It's way off. Nixon grabs it, and here come the Birds. Plum driving, going right hand. Didn't have any there. Crosgow tries to save it right to Wallace. Ball knocked loose, and finally the Eagles end up with it there.
Yeah, fortunate to get it back, saving under your own basket there. They get the ball back.
Justin Crosgow slowing things down. Kevin Winford on the right-hand side. Doug Plum, we're seeing long extended minutes here from the Birds as Coach Hansen has a couple guys getting ready to go and come off the bench, but we've seen these starters for a long time. Spin move, Dorsey buries it.
That's a tough shot.
52-50 the score. Back and forth battle here. 3:25 left. Another lead change. Driving hard to the hoop and blocked is Plum as Plum got all the way to the hoop and Seifert came across from the weak side to stuff it off the glass.
It'll be interesting to see who comes off the floor here out of this group as Solomon and Pippis get set to check in.
Crosgow, Nixon, and Wallace following him out to Hickert. Deep three, no good, bouncing around. Plum with it now. Kicks out to Nixon. Nixon to Kamen. Kamen slows it down. 17 seconds on the clock. 2:52. Hand off to Wallace. Screen coming from Wagner. Wallace trying to get to the hoop, blocked by the much taller Hickert. Here come the Eagles. Running on fumes at this point. Crosgow to Hickert. Hickert didn't expect it. He's going to pass. Crosgow in the corner misses. Nixon grabs the rebound.
Oh, Nixon is racking up the boards here. He's really getting his team down the floor.
Plum one-on-one. Nice juke move to the hoop and good. Count it. Go to the line. Doug Plum. It's a chance for a three-point play as he's fouled by Kevin Winford.
Now you talk about going on fumes. Both coaches leaving their core groups in here for extended minutes, and we're going to see some relief on the floor here.
On the floor is Parker Kelly checking in and Danny Powell, one of the starters. This is the first look we've had at him this half, and Jeff Pippis into the ball game for the Birds. The other sub was expected to come in for Plum. If he hits this, they will. He does. Plum will take a seat for Solomon after converting the three-point play, and after 0 points in the first half, a 5-point third quarter for Doug Plum.
Well, this is David Wagner's opportunity. He gets to stay on the floor and show what he can do. He's got to play hard, physical, and smart.
Foul on Solomon as Kevin Winford, the Anchorage, Alaska product, was racing across half court.
Well, the Birds made their big run with that core group that started the second half. We'll see if the subs can keep that energy here.
Came in on Dorsey. Back to Kevin Winford. Pressure by Solomon. Screen coming. Winford's going to pass up the shot. It's out. It's a deep three and an awkward looking shot fired by Kelly.
But Kamen gets the tip. He skies, and that's why Pippis is coming down the floor.
Pippis got it going to the hoop. Tried to find Wagner there, but a couple Eagles there. Pippis didn't expect the guys that he beat to be there so quickly. Kamen steals it. UBC with the ball back. 53-52 the score, minute 49 left. Pippis far side in front of the UBC bench. Beyond the three-point line, draws the double team. Wagner now with it. Not expected to shoot from that distance. Pippis across to Solomon. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Dorsey on him. Screen coming by Nixon. Solomon going one-on-one, and he's fouled trying to get to the hoop.
The way Tommy Nixon is directing traffic out there, Richa, that's exactly what you said. He is really a general on the floor right now.
Nixon with 13, Wallace with 13, Kamen with 11, Crosgow with 17. Those are your four players in double digits so far. And on the line is Solomon, and he hits the first. Every Bird but Wagner and Lewandowski on the scoreboard. Solomon misses the second one. Seifert with the rebound. Scoring well distributed for the Birds. Ivan Dorsey drives up and it's good. Ties the game at 54.
I have so many shot makers that drive into the paint and make tough shots.
Pippis dished off to Nixon, a little bit too slow. Ball knocked out of bounds by Nixon. It's going to be Eagles ball. You're listening to T-Birds Men's Basketball on CanadaWest.tv. I'm Richard Zussman alongside Howard Samora from the Vancouver Province newspaper.
We got a game here, 54-54. We're starting from scratch.
You better not be going anywhere from your computer. We're going to have a good one here. Tommy Nixon with the steal off Dorsey. Nixon off to the races. Crosgow back. Nixon lays it in, and it's good. Tommy Nixon has looked good running the floor today.
Wow,
Pressure coming. It was Pippis almost knocking the ball away. Parker Kelly tries to slow it down to Powell. Still a little frenetic here. Powell driving on. Pippis going left-handed. Going over to his right. Out to Parker. He drives. It's up just strong, and it's going to be a foul before Parker Kelly missed. And the follow-up would have been a slam by Martin Sieverth, but
McKelly, a great fake move there on Tommy Nixon on the baseline. Froze him just momentarily. It was enough to get by him, create that action around the rim.
34.6 seconds left in the third quarter. 56-54 your score. First is up, it's good. Parker Kelly. Eagles have done a better job at converting those free throw opportunities than the Birds have. Second one up, it's good. We're all tied up at 56. Solomon now. Clock's got to get going here. Is the tough time getting the clock going. So they'll sort that problem out. Remember, it's preseason for everybody, Howard.
But I'm telling you, there is an excitement level in this game, a competitiveness that I didn't expect to see coming here. And these spring tours, some of these games rather, they can be absolutely hard to watch. This one is not.
Yeah, it's good. And it's good during Frost Week. They draw out a lot of fans, and it's a good way to get these fans to come back in November and January.
What a great product,
February.
yeah.
You know, they get familiar with the product, and then they come back. Talking about home games, UBC Thunderbirds men's football team back at home next weekend. Game on Shaw, Saskatchewan Huskies in town. Trying to pick up that first win. Tommy Nixon under the hoop, blocked. Seaforth coming late with the block. Shot clock turned off. 18 seconds to go. Crossguile just getting himself wound up as he comes across half. 12 seconds. Isolation here. Screen coming. Solomon. Crossguile again. Solomon up on him. Tried to foul him. Couldn't. Ball out. Wagner corrals it. 2 seconds. Pippis is going to heave one. And it's just off the back iron. Close by Jeff Pippis. And it's going to be 56 all heading into the fourth quarter.
Well, Jim Hayford, the coach of the Eastern Washington, signaling to the officials, where was the call there? Solomon grabbed the player around the waist there, trying to slow him down. No call, and it's a tie game heading into the fourth.
He also had lots of fouls to give. UBC had just committed 2, so not a bad idea by Solomon to foul with 3 seconds to go if you can get him before he's shooting.
I like his poise. I mean, he's aware of situations in games, and you know what? They're trying to pick him off so many times in the half court. He can slip a screen so effectively. That's the one thing I've noticed. He is hard to rub out of a play. Really, really knows his way around the basketball court as a first-year player.
So Birds football team back in town next weekend, Howard, looking for that first win. And
it won't be easy.
Not the start Coach Olson was looking for. Manitoba and Regina, two teams who are sort of in that middle of the pack with the Birds, and to start 0-2 against them is not what you're looking for when you have to try to get yourself in a position to finish in the top 4.
Exactly. I mean, that Manitoba team that came here was missing maybe the most electrifying player in the conference in Anthony Coombs. They can't get it done there, and then the opportunity to go on the road, and really what they did last year was turn their season around with the way they were able to play on the road. They won that same game last year in Regina. Of course, Mark Mueller wasn't at the controls, and that Regina team looked like a different group in the second half. They had a purpose yesterday that UBC has to find a way to find in the next few days if they want to make any kind of an impact against the Huskies.
They also won that same game against Manitoba a year ago without Anthony Coombs in the lineup. The schedule is much harder this year than it was last year. And the easy part of the schedule was the first 2 games. Now they have Saskatchewan and Calgary, institutions in Canada West, although the Huskies don't look as good as they have in the past. A loss to Manitoba earlier today. And then the Dinos, the class of the conference, come. And then it's a tough part of the schedule. Alberta on the road, and then bearing that 3 very hard games, including road games against Saskatchewan and Manitoba when the weather is going to be cold. So this is going to be tough for the Birds in the next 6 to make the playoffs.
I just want to say one thing. I saw a disgust in Billy Green when he threw those picks yesterday, and I was happy to see that. He wants to make up for what happened yesterday, and I think he's enough of a veteran to make that happen for this team.
He is his toughest critic. I grabbed him for an interview in our post game in the first game, and we had a quick chat before we got on mic, and he is just a guy that cares so much
Yeah.
about this team, and that's why he's back for his 5th year, and he will not, what he wants is a Canada West title, and anything less will be a huge
Well,
disappointment.
after an 0-2 start, it will be a great finish if they can make that happen.
Shot up with 2 seconds on the shot clock. Crosguile with the offensive rebound. We're back underway here, 4th quarter. 3-pointer up, and it's good with Tommy Nixon in his face. Colin Chiverton buries the 3, up to 11 points for Chiverton.
Well, they are a 3-point shooting team. They make tough, hard shots, and it's keeping them. It's obviously their strength here in the game to build a 3-point lead.
10 for 27 from 3-point land for the Eagles. Nixon kicks out to Pippas, bobbles it. Kamen now with it. Nathan Yu cheering him on under the hoop. Leaves it for Pippas, blocked. 1 second on the shot clock. Ball stolen. No possession, so it's going to be a shot clock violation on the Birds.
Well, that's the kind of defensive possession that Eastern builds some confidence defensively. They contested everything and ran the shot clock down.
Couple Birds closing in on double doubles. Brill Kamen, 8 points, 8 boards. Tommy Nixon, 15 points, 8 boards. O'Brien Wallace, 13 points and 3 assists. Chiverton driving. Expect a lot of Chiverton in this quarter. Wagner grabs it. Here comes Solomon. Kicks it out. Connor Morgan with it now. Slows thing down. He's the only one up there. First-year product out of Victoria. Solomon from Van College, another first year. He's defended by Crosguile. Wagner sets the screen. Solomon gets away just for an instant. Up, ball loose. Morgan goes.
Wow.
And he just can't corral it.
Used the screen so well, went to the rack, just couldn't finish, but a great play by Solomon.
Crosguile over half. 14 seconds on the shot clock. We'll see the ball allotted his hands this quarter. Crosguile for 3. It's good.
Wow. They're knocking down shots.
Wagner can't believe the look on his face. 62-56 the score for the Eagles as they get off to a 6-0 run in this 4th quarter. Tommy Nixon to Solomon. Crosguile knocks it away. Very composed. 3-point shot. Awkward looking and good by Parker Kelly, and it's a timeout by Kevin Hansen as the Eagles go 9-0 to start the 4th quarter.
Well, a couple of 9-0 runs here and really getting control of the game because they're confident in their abilities as jump shooters. They are making shots, and that can be so deflating because UBC is working so hard defensively. Eastern just cranking it up. That time, off transition, I don't think anything can bruise the Eagle more than pulling up from the outside in flight as Eastern did there.
65-56 score. Crosguile now up to 20 points. Chiverton 11. Dorsey off the bench with 9. And now the Birds find themselves in an early hole here after playing the Eagles so tight for the first 3 quarters. And we'll see what sort of lineup Coach Hansen comes back at here as they're trying to cut this 9-0 run the Eagles are on.
Well, you know what? It's heart and soul stuff when you want to come back in these kinds of situations. And Tommy Nixon showed this team the way with that 9-0 run that UBC put together. And no surprise that Nixon returns with the group coming onto the floor right now. Two pure freshmen, we should say, though, on the floor right now for the Thunderbirds, including Isaiah Solomon at that all-important point guard position.
Solomon on the floor. Mike Lewandowski also on the floor. Nixon, Plum, and Morgan. Plum almost has the ball knocked loose. Chiverton's up on him. Screen came. Plum kicks around. Solomon now to Morgan. Far side, 9 seconds on the clock. Nixon coming with the screen. Solomon doesn't use it. Dishes to Morgan. And it's knocked away.
And Morgan's feet moved a little faster than he wanted there.
Crosguile up. Coach Hayford screaming at Chiverton to move. Crosguile shot is good. This kid is feeling it tonight. Justin Crosguile, 22 points.
Solomon did everything he could. He bid on nothing. Every move was matched by Solomon. He just hit a tough shot.
Nixon to Morgan. Morgan for 3. No good. Front iron. Low trajectory on that shot by Morgan. First attempt at the CIS level from 3-point land.
You see the quick release, and there's a great form on that shot. He does want to get a bit more arc on that shot, but he's a guy so comfortable shooting from distance.
Advantage with those big men who spring up a number of inches in their high school years. They've developed that perimeter game, the dribbling, the getting to the hoop and then get that size on it makes a very dangerous ball player.
Son of a coach as well.
Parker Kelly leaves it for Crosguile. Crosguile with 22 points, looking to add to it. Dish pass this time and a throwdown slam by Seaverth. And it's a 13-0 run to start this fourth quarter.
And that was a great
Morgan
skip
down
pass.
low. There's a hoop for the Birds. It's Lewandowski with his first two. It's everybody with Wagner on the board now for the Birds. Morgan the pressure on Parker Kelly. Crosguile backs up, no good. Finally misses one. Nixon grabs it, 6:10 left, 11-point lead. Eagles have had it to as many as 13. Nixon to Morgan. Screen coming. Morgan across. Plum driving up to the hoop, and it's going to be a foul. Before he got there, he'll shoot two. Doug Plum getting himself to the line in this second half.
Yeah, there's a bit of a hip check there as Plum went to the basket.
5 points, all of them in the third quarter.
Wow, I thought they would be shooting there. Plum was clearly attacking the basket when he got fouled.
One of the refs put up the 2 points there. So the Plum will be the inbound. It is to Plum. It gets knocked out of bounds. 5:54 left here. 11-point lead for the Eagles. Plum to Nixon. Chiverton in his face. Out to Plum. He's driving to the hoop, has some room, kicks out to Lewandowski. He shoots, misses. Nixon surging! And what a great play by Tommy Nixon to get to the hoop and cut it to single digits.
Yeah, that's a hustle point. That's a point because you want to get into the fray, and Tommy Nixon has done that a number of occasions tonight.
Chiverton drives off his own foot, and it's going to be UBC ball as referee able to gain his balance there as he collides into the back markers.
Impressive, though, the way that Nixon plays when he doesn't have the ball, finding opportunities to help his team. He's the one guy Kevin Hansen does not want to take off the floor right now.
10 points in the second half for Tommy Nixon, 17 in the game. Plum driving, had Morgan moving late. Nixon with it now. Long wingspan, able to corral that pass. Shot up by Wallace, just a little long rebound. Fresh shot clock. Nixon with it, drives right away, fouled. He'll go to the line. Tommy Nixon is trying to take over this ball game offensively for the Birds.
Yeah, it's a cliche. You put a team on your back, but Tommy Nixon, as you watch him on the floor right now, Rich, is what he's trying to do is put this team on his back, and credit Lewandowski there. He got the offensive board, and he spotted the hot man on the floor. He got the ball right into the hands of Tommy Nixon.
Picker checks into the game. Nixon will be shooting a pair with 5:10 left. Still lots of time left. 69-60 the score. Nixon's first is good. 69-61. Nixon's second is no good. Ball bouncing around, ripped down by Seaforth. Here comes Justin Crosguile with it. Crosguile slips through the defenders and they tag him as he goes through. Ball will be inbounded on the far side. Second foul by Lewandowski. Second team foul. Lewandowski out of the game, Kamen back into the ball game.
But big moments there for Lewandowski, and you see Kevin Hansen get up to exchange a high five with him. He showed good energy on the floor, and that's what they want to see out of Lewandowski.
After 7 points, after Kamen was 8 points and 7 rebounds in the first half, just 1 rebound in the second half. Shot blocked there by Kamen coming back, knocks the ball out of bounds.
The good teams will take away the perceived threat, and it was hard for Brill Kamen to hide in that opening half. He was so dominant. So many different phases of the game.
Parker Kelly will inbound under the hoop. Getting all that sweat mopped up under the hoop. Chiverton's getting looked at on the EW sideline.
5 straight points here by the Birds, though, to get within a more respectable distance here. Though clock is the enemy here, though 8 points down with 4:50 remaining.
The 13-0 start by the Eagles to start that fourth quarter. Inbound by Parker Kelly. In the corner, Reuter. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Reuter along the baseline. It's
Oh.
up and it's good. Ends up on his butt and nails it as the shot clock expired.
Maybe the toughest shot made in this basketball game right there on the baseline.
Morgan was open. Plum didn't like it. Leaves it for Kamen. He has room to the hoop. Gets blocked. Kamen's going up again. Gets fouled. He'll go to the line and shoot a pair. Kamen, though, has not been good. 0 for 2 from the free throw line.
Well, Seaforth is a guy who obviously, when conference play starts in the Big Sky, is one of these guys that's going to have some big block totals, and you can see he's got a penchant for getting up and blocking that. But you got to credit Kamen for coming back strong after that initial block by Seaforth down low.
Fourth block for Seaforth, defensive specialist, still not on the scoreboard. 4 rebounds, 4 blocks. Kamen will shoot 2. First one's good.
I think he took it personal what you were saying about his free throw shooting.
1 for 3 now from the line. Kamen trying to make it a pair. He does. Looks very confident from the line. Cut the lead to 8. 4:27 left in the ball game. Reuter will inbound to Crosguile. Nixon, full court pressing Crosguile. Crosguile tries to shimmy him to the left. Dishes it off to Reuter, gets it across. Wallace right on him, tries to poke it from behind. Dishes off.
Oh!
Keeman coming weak side and stuffing Parker Kelly.
That was exciting. Hey, you know what? Here's my question, Rich. Is he going to let that beard grow? If he lets it grow, they could have the Brill beard nights here. I think that could be big in War Gym.
We saw that a few years ago in Alberta, the volleyball team, one of their stars grew the big beard, and when they won national championships on their home floor, everybody had the beard. So let's talk to Brill Kamen after the game and suggest a beard night. Parker Kelly leaves it for Crosguile. He misses it, and Kamen with the rebound.
I think that's going to give him a double-double.
Kamen up to Plum, across to Nixon, wide open for 3. It just misses it front iron. Morgan grabs it, keeps it alive for the Birds. Bath to Nixon, doesn't want it this time. Kamen's in the corner, dishes it to Wallace, misses. Ball bouncing around. Birds had a couple chances there, and there's a foul on that one, and Kamen's going to say it's him.
Kamen comes in with a bit too much energy. You saw that there. He just collided with a pack of players. But hey, I'll tell you, Morgan got that ball off the offensive glass because Kamen reached back and tipped it. So you measure what he does. He's got a bundle of energy, but he does so many good things on the floor for you as well.
So we have the Kamen possible promotion. Here's another promotion I've been thinking about.
Okay.
Curtis Moss, a former UBC football player and track star at the Olympics in
Sure.
javelin, friends with Billy Green. Missed shot there by Eastern Washington. How about both of them stand at the 50-yard line and see who can throw a football
Hey,
further?
I like that.
I think
like
that would be a good one. I ran it by Curtis Moss when I chatted with him a few weeks ago. He said he's in. We just need to get Billy in, and we'll get him a football and see who can throw a further.
I'll tell you, you call me, I'll put that in the paper to promote that one. That's a great idea, Rich. That would be fun. That's what campus life is all about. 2 real recognizable guys, too, in Moss, a great guy. Great football player at Burnaby Central. Would be great to see that happen.
If we can get Billy Green's mood up a little bit, this may be a possibility.
They might have to go on a 2-game win streak before that happens. You know?
Richard Zussman alongside Howard Samora here at War Memorial Gym. Thanks for watching on CanadaWest.tv. And win streaks will be hard to come by as Saskatchewan, Calgary, Alberta, the next 3 on the sked for the Birds on the football side of things. And then finishing up the season with Regina at home after the bye week, and then road trips to Saskatchewan and Manitoba to close out the season.
Yeah, and if you don't get your act together soon, Alberta's going to look at you as their one chance, and they're going to have everything ready for you. That Alberta team, that obviously not as strong as it's been in past years, and that could prove to be, a tough game in Edmonton.
CITR will be there going on the road for that one to Edmonton, and so that will be one you'll be able to listen to on 101.9 FM and CITR.ca. But we still got an exciting ball game in front of us here with just 3:26 left in the fourth quarter, 71-63 the score. Doug Plum will inbound. Although this doesn't count for anything on the standings, it would be a big boost for the Birds. Connor Morgan with it. Working the ball around Plum. Turnover forced. Here comes Winford. Nixon on him. Screen coming. Nixon still staying on Winford. 14 seconds on the shot clock. 3:08 left in the fourth quarter. 8-point lead by the Eagles. Winford with it. Nixon on him. He's driving left. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Winford's going to shoot. Nixon just goes flying off his feet, and he'll get tagged with the foul. It will be Nixon's third.
Well, if he pump faked anymore, he'd have 5 guys collapsing on him. He was drawing the crowd in the corner.
Winford with it will inbound. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Tough pass to Corral by Kelly. He has it. Nixon pressured him, gets out of it. Reuter with it. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Traves left. Misses. Back iron. Ball bouncing around. Right to O'Brien Wallace. He has Morgan with him. Just the two of them, and it's blocked. Sticking with him the whole way was Parker Kelly.
Yeah, the axiom there, you got numbers on the break, give up the ball. 2-on-1 opportunity there does not work for the Birds.
And it looks like this is the lineup Coach Hansen wants to close out the ball game. 2:35 left. Morgan applying the pressure. Good opportunity for Morgan to feel some clutch minutes.
Yeah, it's nice that he has the ability there to trap as well, a big guy to come out there and pressure defense.
Kevin Winford, Nixon on him. Kicks out to Parker Kelly. To Winford now driving right into the corner to Seifert. So that's Reuter. Reuter with it, and it's going to be a shot go. They're going to call that foul right before the shot clock goes. It's going to be a hold.
I think that's the right call.
Tough on the Birds, but a good call there. With 2:12 left, UBC may be running out of time if they've sort of stalled on offense.
Well, this Reuter is a nice player. Listed as a freshman.
Just 7 points in this quarter. Reuter, a big-looking, old-looking body, but listed on the lineup here as a freshman.
Yeah, he can't be a pure high school freshman. He does not look.
Out of Germany. Over and back. Eastern Washington not expected to get the ball there, but this is a team that has players from all over. A couple guys in the lineup from Australia, a guy from Alaska, three guys from Germany.
Well, that NCAA branding can really extend around the globe.
Isaiah Solomon to Tommy Nixon. Nixon back to Solomon now. Winthorpe on him. Less than 2 minutes left in this ball game here. 12 seconds on the clock. Solomon drives. Great defense. Out to O'Brien Wallace. He shoots, misses. Kamen misses. Grabs his own rebound. Kamen scores.
That's a work ethic you love to see. Brill Kamen under the basket.
Nixon on defense. Kamen was up for the charge, but no call on that one. And then a walk.
Look at that.
And it's going to be UBC ball as Kamen plays tough defense there.
We saw that excitement as he came by the minor of the table here.
Let out a big roar.
Wow.
They got to figure out who's going to inbound this one. It's going to be Isaiah Solomon. Solomon into the game for Morgan. Doug Plum, 7-point lead, minute 34 left. Plum out to Solomon. He's going to shoot it. Just long. Nerves there. Kamen pumps. Gets up and he's going to score. Count it. Bill Kamen will go to the line. And he's energized this crowd here as Bill Kamen has a chance to make this a 4-point game.
Okay, rule number 1 for Eastern has to be to put a body on Brill Kamen underneath. He has hurt you all night. It almost doesn't matter what your shooting percentage is down low, from the outside rather, when you've got Brill Kamen just vacuuming everything up underneath and making great moves in the low post.
Hopefully a chance to catch up with Kamen after the game if he doesn't sprint out of the gym after this one. Finishes off the 3-point play in style. 18 points for Kamen, a double-double. 72-68. Winthorpe driving to the hoop now. Shot up, wild. Kamen had a chance for the rebound, missed it, and fouls Martin Seifert down low, and Seifert will shoot a pair, and Kamen had a chance there to run the fast break. Into the game now, Ivan Dorsey. Good-looking junior, has had a good game off the bench. 9 points off the bench for the Eagles. Seifert will shoot a pair. First one is bouncing around and good. The big man from Germany. Notes say he was enrolled at Oregon. Now a member of the Eagles. Second one is missed. Nixon has a chance. Bounces away. O'Brien Wallace now. Minute 18 left. 5-point game. Wallace drives. Crosgill's played pretty much his whole second half. He's right up on Wallace. Solomon now with it. Dorsey right up on him. Eagles not giving the T-Birds any room. Came in for three. In good! From the corner! Brew came in, 21 points, and this kid is on fire right now, Howard.
Yeah, back to a one-possession game. Brill came in just ice in the veins from the baseline corner.
This is a beauty here at War. Jim, less than a minute to go. 73-71 the score. Justin Crosgile with it. He's going to shoot a long three. It's good! Pretty much in the scores cable. Crosgile drains it, and Coach Hansen calls a timeout.
Well, he was 7 or 8 feet outside the three-point line when he let that fly fading away with a man in his face.
At the end of that fadeaway, he almost was
He
sitting
almost fell into the
in the
side,
scores
yeah.
table. That's how deep he was as he buried it. 25 points for Crosgile now, 76-71. And he has been unbelievable from beyond three-point land.
It has been a great comeback, though, from a UBC perspective. Regardless of the result, and you'd love to win from a UBC perspective, this kind of effort and this kind of an atmosphere can carry you through the next, few weeks of hard practices as you start to get ready for the league. This is everything Kevin Hansen and the UBC staff wanted to get out of this game.
And it's a pretty good crowd here today, lots of students. And they're making this a pretty good atmosphere. With less than a minute to go in this ball game, it's UBC ball, trailing by 5. And you're exactly right about what Coach Hansen wanted out of this game was something where his players could be tested late, and they are being tested.
Yeah, it's great situations here to bring out the character of your young players and also who are your leaders. And I think you come out of this knowing Tommy Nixon is a guy you put right at the top of that list.
And how about Brill Kamen? Wow. Asleep in the third quarter, dominant here in the fourth quarter. Going to the Bills, Plum to Kamen. Kamen's good. Easy basket to cut it to 3.
If you're ever going to
Full
press,
court
this is
press
the time.
coming now. Wallace and Nixon double team. Crosgile doesn't have a lot of options to Plum. Running out of time, finally steps across half. Here come the Eagles, they're still rushing. Dorsey will slow it all down. 17-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Crosgile with it, 7 seconds on the shot clock. This guy has range. Inside, open, ball out of bounds. It's UBC ball. 17 seconds, lost possession, down 3. O'Brien Wallace almost turns the ball over. Birds down 3, 11 seconds. They're going to play for the three-point shot. Wallace to Nixon. It's a travel over. Nixon shot would have been good. It's a travel on the Birds as Tommy Nixon nails the 3, and it's not going to count.
But the officials clearly blowing that whistle before Nixon, stepped into that three-point shot. So,
and you don't see a smile on Kevin Hansen's face very often when his team's trailing, but after that one, big smile, turning to Nixon and goes, that's too bad. Because that was pretty close to blowing the thing off the roof here.
Yeah, it was. Wanted to see UBC press aggressively. They did that. They really did cause the problems. 4 or 5 passes to get across half court. And they get right back down. And I think panicking, rushing a bit, thinking, it's a 3-point deficit. Do we hoist a quick 2 and try and get it back, or do we try and set up for a 3? And I think that process of them trying to get their offense together is really what led to, a little bit of lack of cohesion and the travel call.
And Coach Hansen had that timeout to use, and I think he wanted to see what his boys would do on the floor. This doesn't count in the standings.
It doesn't.
So why not let them see what they do
That's
with
a
the
great
game on the
point,
line?
because he could have done this
left.
right there. He didn't. He let it happen.
Right.
Yeah, so now he's going to see, what they can do and kind of test their mettle in terms of trusting each other in defense. You don't get opportunities like this until you get to the league in real tight situations. It's a great way to observe your team.
And it was close there. But one of the best basketball games I'd ever seen was a situation similar to this. It was at Carleton. They were playing Louisville. Great team. Rick Pitino was the coach. And it was another barn burner like this. Osvaldo Genti, one of the greats, buried a three-pointer with 5 seconds left. Louisville comes down the floor and scores. But it's so great to see these games so close. 5 seconds, finally the foul coming. As Plum was trying to get the steal there, Crosgile dribbling quickly right in front of us. 5 seconds left. Crosgile will shoot, a very good free throw shooter. Not the guy you want to put on the free throw line, but the only option the Birds have.
Yeah, and a real tough one here in that he can automatically make this a 2-possession game with a make.
And that's the last time out by Hansen. We're hopefully going to catch up with some Birds after this one, as we got a few seconds left. Birds will need misses from the free throw line, head down, 3-point shot. Not looking great, but still a very exciting game.
Yeah, as we said, I don't think you could have asked for anything more from this situation. And really, players will look at this game and say, hey, it would have been great if we won, but we know what we did well. And this team came out from Eastern Washington and shot the 3 ball so well. I don't think you can expect the team to come out and shoot from downtown with the efficiency that this Eastern team did tonight. They made some incredibly tough shots. We talked about all different kinds of threes. And it's not like they weren't defended well either, Rich. I mean, they had guys in faces. They were cognizant of what was happening on the floor. Very few wide open opportunities. So some real defensive responsibility here from the Birds in those kinds of situations.
And they'll have a long time to think about this one, watch the tape as they get ready for the regular season getting underway in November.
And I'll be abandoning my headset to talk to Coach Hansen.
Yeah.
But turning the headsets over just so we clear that up for the post game. And
Yeah,
I'm
and
sure
we'll
you're going to have a
try-
great talk.
And we'll try to
with
get
some
some
of these
guys to come
players.
over here.
Justin Johnson is at the line to the pass.
First shot's up, and it's good. Makes it a 4-point game. Job becomes a lot harder for the Birds here with 5 seconds left. Regular season starts November 2nd at Trinity Western. Then Thompson Rivers on the 9th and 10th of November. Fraser Valley the week after. Up, and it's no good. Missed on purpose. Ball bouncing around now. Clock didn't start on time. Nixon's going to need to heave it up and get fouled. It's up. No good. Clangs around. That's ball game. 77-73 the final. But what an exciting game as Eastern Washington survives and get out of Vancouver with a win and a 2-0 record so far on their BC trip.
And we got to see the makings of an exciting UBC team. I think this is historic. There's never been the kind of player turnaround in this program over the last decade that there has been this year. To see these guys for the first time, Richard, a great pleasure, and I think really bodes well for the start of the Canada West season.
All right, so we're going to be back here on November 9th and 10th against Thompson Rivers. Hopefully we'll have Howard Samora back with me later on the season. We'll hear lots from Howard as the season goes along. He's got to go to his day job for the Vancouver province now and chat with Coach Hansen about this one. We'll hopefully catch up with a couple of the Birds after this exciting one, some of the fresh faces and some of the guys who have been around a while here. So hang with us on Canada West TV as we'll bring you a little bit of post-game coverage before we wrap it up. And we're hoping to catch up with Brill Kamen here as he comes to cheer the student section. We're trying to make eye contact with him here. And we're going to see if Brill Kamen will head over to say hello. 23 points for Kamen, a double-double in his first game in a T-Boards uniform. And Brill, you gave a salute to the fans here. What was it like playing in front of the T-Birds fans for the first time?
Well, I haven't played basketball for maybe a year and a half, so it's very, very good to be back on the home crowd. I have the support of the fans here. Everybody's back in school, so it's very, very comforting to be home, and I finally play basketball, so I'm very happy.
23 points for you, a double-double. We've waited your start in a T-Birds uniform for a long time, an exciting one. Talk about that fourth quarter. You really turned it on.
Well, at one point, like especially in the third quarter, I tried to just rest a little bit. I knew that we needed me in the fourth quarter, so I just tried to rest and just try to give my best effort in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, today it wasn't good enough because we lost by 4 points, so I could have done more. But I think it's very, very good for us just to go back in playing, just have the team just come back and just try to give the best for the team to help them.
How do you feel like this team is gelling? This is the first time we've seen you guys out on the floor in a game, but you've been in practice a few weeks. How good do you think this T-Birds team can be?
Well, we're very far along for what we want to do, so I think we have a very, very good group of guys. I mean, we're very tall, very talented. We have big guys that can score inside. We have a perimeter guy that can shoot threes. I think he's a very good and maybe the best coach in the CS with Kevin Hansen. I think we just try to work out at practice every day and just try to be the best that we can be. Of course, it's early in the season, so we